Welcome back to the Stoic Compass. I'm Eleanor Vance, and today we're discussing death.
You know what? I'm starting to think you enjoy watching me squirm. We could talk about, I don't know, pizza? People love pizza. Pizza doesn't make you contemplate your mortality.
Would pizza make you a better person, Jim?
Yes, absolutely. Hawaiian pizza made me more tolerant. I hated pineapple on pizza until I tried it, and now I'm basically Gandhi.
Jim Walker, everyone. 42 years old and comparing himself to Gandhi because of fruit on bread. I'm joined by Jim, and today we're exploring Memento Mori, Remember You Must Die, and what COVID-19 taught us about confronting mortality.
I'm Eleanor Vance's project in applied stoicism. Send help.
If you enjoy watching Jim have existential breakthroughs in real time, subscribe. You can just... Jim, quick question. Have you ever noticed that medieval and ancient art is absolutely obsessed with death?
I mean, there's a lot of Jesus stuff. Crucifixion is technically death adjacent.
Beyond that, Philippe de Champagne painted skulls next to wilting tulips. Anonymous German artists created entire series of dancing skeletons with weapons. The Aztecs built a wall with thousands of actual human skulls at their great temple. There's even a church in Rome, Santa Maria della Concezione, decorated entirely with the bones of 4,000 Capuchin monks.
4,000 monks? That's not interior design, that's a logistics problem.
They ran out of cemetery space in the 1600s. Rather practical, actually. One monk's femur becomes another's chandelier.
That sentence is why people think philosophers are weird.
Indeed, but let us consider, why was death imagery so prevalent? Not just in Christian Europe, but across cultures and centuries.
Because life expectancy was, 35 years? Everyone was constantly dying.
Precisely. Death wasn't abstract, it was immediate. Let me tell you about Marcus Aurelius, because his life reads like a tragedy written by someone who hates happy endings.
Our guy Marcus. Philosopher, emperor, exceptional beard. Go on.
His father died when he was just a boy, his grandparents shortly after. He lost Antoninus Pius, his adopted father and mentor. Then the real horror. Of his 14 children, 8 died before he did. And his entire 15-year reign was marked by constant wars and the Antonine Plague, which killed over 10 million people.
8 children. I have 2 kids and I'm barely holding it together. 8?
In 180 CE, Marcus contracted that same plague. His doctors gave him days. He called his 5 closest advisors to arrange the succession. They arrived grief-stricken, almost unable to function. And Marcus, dying Marcus, scolded them.
I'm sorry, he what?
He reproached them for being, quote, unphilosophical, said they should be thinking about the implications of the plague for the empire, contemplating death more broadly. His actual final words were, "Weep not for me, think rather of the pestilence and the deaths of so many others."
The man is literally dying and he's giving notes on their emotional response? That's the most Roman thing I've ever heard.
That's practicing philosophy until your last breath. Memento Mori. Remember, you are mortal. Now here's my question. Why don't we see this kind of art anymore?
Because we invented antibiotics and now think we're invincible.
Exactly. We've become delusional. We think technology has defeated death, that it happens to other people, old people, sick people, anyone but us. Then February 2020 arrived.
Oh boy, here comes COVID.
The chair of New York City's health committee literally mocked coronavirus concerns in February. By April, he's announcing they might need temporary graves in public parks. Refrigerated trucks filled faster than hospitals could process bodies. New York City ran out of space for its dead.
And the U.S. had, 25% of global cases with 5% of the population?
25%. We were utterly unprepared because we'd forgotten what every culture before us knew. Death comes for everyone. Our ancestors tried to warn us. Moses wrote, "Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom." Michelangelo said, "No thought exists in me which death has not carved with his chisel."
Shakespeare wrote that every third thought should be about his grave, right?
Every third thought. That's 33% of his mental bandwidth dedicated to mortality. Mozart called death the true goal of existence. Tolstoy said if we kept death in mind constantly, our entire lives would be different.
Okay, but that sounds exhausting. I get it, we all die. But thinking about death constantly? That's just depression with better press.
That's philosophically lazy, Jim. The question isn't whether to think about death, it's what you do with that awareness. Memento Mori wasn't about being morbid. It was a practice.
What kind of practice? Like meditation?
Better. People staged their desks with human skulls as paperweights. They hung paintings of skeletons, hourglasses, extinguished candles, wilting tulips. They carried Memento Mori medallions in their pockets every single day.
They carried skulls around like we carry car keys?
Medallions with skulls, yes. Elizabeth Welch, an art curator, explains it wasn't just generalized death awareness, it was performative Christianity. Medieval people wanted constant reminders of physical decay. And here's the thing, those reminders didn't create panic. They created priority, humility, urgency, appreciation.
So seeing death constantly made them better people? That's counterintuitive.
It's completely intuitive if you think about it. I have my own Memento Mori practice. Want to hear it?
Do I have a choice?
I carry a two-sided coin. Front side has Champagne's still life with a skull. Back side has Marcus Aurelius's quote from Meditations, Book 2. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think.
That's actually kind of beautiful. Dark, but beautiful.
But that's not my main practice. Every morning and evening when I brush my teeth, I stare at a chunk of Victorian tombstone propped under my bathroom mirror.
You have an actual piece of gravestone in your bathroom.
I do. How it left that cemetery, I genuinely don't know and don't want to know. But the piece has just one word carved into it. Dad. Someone who identified so strongly with fatherhood they wanted it on their tombstone, who lived, loved, died, and whose grave eventually fell into such disrepair that pieces ended up in circulation.
And you look at this every day while brushing your teeth.
Twice a day, morning and night. And I think, who were they? How did they die? Is anyone still alive who remembers them? It doesn't matter. They're gone. And so it will go for me. And so it will go for you.
Well, I'll be darned. That's heavy, but I get it. Makes you think.
There's a performance artist named Marina Abramovich who did an incredible piece. She lay completely nude on her back, mimicking ancient cadaver tombs. On top of her, in the exact same position, was an actual human skeleton.
That sounds deeply uncomfortable and possibly a health code violation.
It represents the last mirror we all face, the before and after that every living body experiences. The Romans had an expression, hodie mihi, cras tibi. Today it's me, tomorrow it's you.
Romans really knew how to bring down a room. Hey, nice toga. By the way, you're next.
Here's where this gets practical instead of just philosophical. Remembering death should humble us, absolutely, but it should also empower us. It puts everything into perspective.
How does thinking about dying empower me? Walk me through that.
When my 6-year-old son calls me from the stairs to come play, I have no problem dropping everything immediately, because that could be the last time he asks me. When I'm tempted to phone it in at work, I remember how fortunate I am to have work, to have today, to have this moment.
So death awareness makes you a better parent and employee. That's actually practical.
It makes me present. I try to live, not just during pandemics, with the awareness that I may not be spared, that a virus doesn't care about my resume, my importance, or who needs me. Death is ruthlessly indifferent, inevitable, victorious.
That's simultaneously terrifying and clarifying.
That was the entire purpose of Memento Mori art, to remind people that death is always present, always waiting, always winning eventually.
Okay, so practical question. What am I supposed to do with this information? Do I buy a skull? Is there a death awareness starter kit on Amazon?
This could be your last day on this planet, right now. This conversation we're having could be the last thing you do. As wonderful as immortality sounds, we have to use death as a tool, a spur to move forward, a reminder of what actually matters versus what we think matters.
Use death as a tool. That's the most metal motivational speech I've heard.
We have to be made better by the fact that we don't know our expiration date. We never do. We never will. Jim, what would you do differently today if you knew with certainty it was your last day alive?
Oh, we're doing this? Fine. I'd call my mom. Actually call, not text. I'd tell my wife I love her without looking at my phone. I'd play with my kids without thinking about work. I'd eat that expensive cheese I keep saving for special occasions. And I definitely wouldn't waste time on passive-aggressive emails.
Perfect answer. Now here's the question that's going to ruin your afternoon. Why aren't you doing those things today?
Because I don't think today's my last day. Statistically speaking, it's probably not.
How do you know?
I don't. I don't know. Well, I'll be darned. That's the whole point, isn't it? You just philosophically cornered me.
That's exactly the point. COVID-19 reminded us that death doesn't wait for convenient timing. It doesn't care about your 5-year plan, your career trajectory, your importance, or your unfinished business. The pandemic was nature's way of screaming, "Remember, you're mortal."
So all those historical people with death skulls weren't being morbid. They were being smart. They understood something we've forgotten.
They were being wise. They understood that acknowledging death doesn't diminish life, it improves it, creates urgency without panic, appreciation without complacency, focus without paralysis.
You know what's weird? I came into this episode thinking we'd just be depressing. But this is actually helpful. Life-changing even.
That's Stoicism working exactly as designed. Marcus Aurelius faced 8 dead children, constant warfare, and a plague that killed 10 million people. He didn't become nihilistic or hopeless. He became present, committed, laser-focused on what truly mattered.
All right, so what's my homework assignment? Do I need to find a gravestone for my bathroom? Because my wife will have questions.
Start simpler. Every morning when you brush your teeth, look yourself directly in the mirror and say out loud, "This could be my last day." Let that determine what I do, say, and think. Try it for 7 days.
This could be my last day? That's going to fundamentally change how I approach everything.
Good. That's the entire goal. Memento Mori isn't about being sad, scared, or morbid. It's about being awake, present, alive in the truest, fullest, most urgent sense.
Well, I'll be darned. Death advice that genuinely makes me want to live better. Philosophy that actually works.
The Stoics figured this out 2,000 years ago. They tried to tell us. We just weren't listening. Too busy pretending we're immortal. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Memento Mori and what COVID taught us about mortality. Remember, this could be your last day. Make it count.
If you found this valuable, subscribe. Share it with someone who needs perspective. These conversations matter more than we realize.
Until next time, live with urgency, gratitude, and the constant awareness that your time here is borrowed and limited.
Stay present, stay committed, and maybe buy that skull after all. I'm genuinely considering it.
This podcast is powered by voxcrea.ai, where ideas find their voice.